Welcome in, all you ghouls and goblins, to Monster School. I am Morticia, and today Monster and Mama will be discussing all things horror comedy. So don't get too scared, and remember that ghosts make the best cheerleaders. They have so much spirit.
That's awesome. I love how it's like tracing it almost like you're going with it. It's like it's lighting each tentacle up.
I don't know if the blue shows up too hot with the red. Too great. This thing is my favorite so far in the blacklight. Because what the camera does in picking up is I added bits of it everywhere. So it looks like the texture is catching in the light. Oh my god, he looks so badass. That one's my favorite now. I was like, that's so good.
I feel bad because every time you finish it, it's like, I don't want to take it away.
I was like, dang, I thought I was going to be stuck with this guy for a minute.
Because I remember doing the Christmas show, and like, Mama made this hexes for me, and you're like, hi. I'm like, oh no.
I missed you.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome into Monster School. My name is Mama, and I am here with...
Mama Talks. You said my name is Mama.
Okay. I'm not doing it again. Yeah, this is Mama Talks, and today we're discussing all things horror comedy. Yeah, this is a cool genre because it's kind of
fun.
It's fun, and it's something you wouldn't expect from the horror genre, where it's like them doing that. Because of all the genres to combine it with, you'd expect sci-fi because of John Carpenter's The Thing, but you wouldn't really expect comedy. But comedy is the cool introduction into horror for a lot of like young people. Like mine was always Gremlins, like going into like I saw Gremlins and I was like, I'm kind of like scared of these little demonic things, but there's one that's flashing another person, and it's like these little things in there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about horror comedies?
I love it. I have dark humor, so it feeds my dark humor side. Oh, you disappeared.
Yeah, no, I'm reconnecting. I need that red showing. That was bugging me last time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fun. You know, I try not to be too overcritical when it comes to especially the horror genre, because it's hard to do something original because everything's being done.
Right.
But I think making it goofy is great because it also helps like the younger ones not fear it so much, where it allows their body to be affected and get nightmares and shit. If you throw out a few comedy horrors, they're just like, oh yeah, it's make believe, duh, it's funny.
Right.
So it helps.
I agree. So to get the first one out of the way, before I ask the main question, because we already discussed it, I just want to re-discuss it, is Beetlejuice.
Okay. Yeah.
Beetlejuice is the OG comedy horror. Like, in my opinion, it's one of, like, the greatest, because you have Michael Keaton, obviously, as the comedic relief, but he's also... Yeah. It's interesting. He's the Exorcist. Correct? Right? Is that right?
I mean, yeah, I guess. He possesses a town instead of a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this film, we've already discussed it, so it's hard to, like, go back into it, but it's phenomenal. It's hilarious. The way he talks, the way he moves, and, like, his charismatic attitude, it owns the whole movie. I don't think if you replace Michael Keaton, would it work?
I don't think it would.
Think so, because, like, the other characters are phenomenal. Like, I love, what's his name? Olaf? I think his name's Olaf, the big guy that he claims to be his psychic, but he's so clearly not.
Yeah.
He's like, there's something about this house.
I enjoy the entire cast.
Right. They're all great, but it's just Keaton's the one.
I don't remember his name, but the, like, husband, I think he was, that comes to the dinner, you know?
The redhead guy, right?
Yeah. He was in another movie. I can't remember what it was called, but it's back in the day. We're talking, like, late 80s, probably.
Ferris Bueller. He's the principal.
No, but I love that one too.
Okay.
It was actually, these people get like a satellite. It's like the latest like technology for their TV, and they get sucked into it. And they have this like, they're part of like these fucking TV shows, and he's like the...
What is this movie?
Dude, you gotta watch it. Let me look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Jeez.
Okay. It's so funny. Like, I loved it. He was the main character in it, which is why I like him.
I'm gonna find it before you.
Maybe.
Alright, his name is Jeffrey Jones.
Stay tuned.
Fuck. Yep. You get me. Stay tuned. Alright, I'll add it. I haven't seen this.
Dude, watch it for sure.
I'll watch
It's a
it.
good one.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it tonight. That's cool.
It might actually fall into the comedy horror now that I think about it, because it's still a terrifying concept, you know, getting
Right.
sucked into this world and all this terrible shit happening to you.
Have you seen Evil Tunes by chance?
Evil Tunes?
I don't know. It just popped up on my. It looks like a very rated R version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It just popped up on my list, and I wanted to watch it. And I was like, I wonder if Mom has seen this.
Evil Tunes? I don't think I I don't think I have.
Okay. All right.
That might be something to look into.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. But no, the first question we're gonna start off with is, what is the funniest joke you've ever heard
Oh no.
that made you like cry?
A joke that made me cry.
Like you're like, that's a good joke.
Usually those are so in the moment that like, and you know, I suck with memory stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a very serious person, so that makes it difficult to laugh at things.
Gotta
Like,
give me a
as
joke.
they're
Though. You gotta give
happening.
me a funny joke. That's the thing.
I'm not the joke person. Basics is the joke person. He's the funny one.
Ask him what a joke is. Call him. Be like, hey, give me a funny joke. It's gonna be the most racist.
He does like dark humor like
Yeah.
me though.
Well, the one I like, it's not racist, but it's.
I won't say the jokes that we used to tell each other. That's like so
I
not
know those
woke
jokes 'cause that's
anymore.
pretty much all the jokes I know. Where it's like, what's the difference between a picnic bench and a I know jokes. But no, my two favorites, and probably my number one favorite of all time is there's a Mexican, a Chinese man, and a white man, and they go to the top of a mountain. There's a magical lamp on top, and they rub the lamp, and a genie comes out, and he says, whatever you wish for when you jump off this mountain, you're going to land in. And the white man says, money, 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 lands in a pile of money. Mexican says, pillows, 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 lands in a pile of pillows. The black guy, he's nervous when he goes to the corner of this mountain. He looks over and he accidentally slips off. He's like, oh, shit. Thank you.
That's a good one. I thought I knew where that was
Right?
going, and it just totally went a different direction.
The
That's
other
great.
one that I enjoy, but everybody's like, ugh, is... So, Mama, I went to my doctor yesterday, and he said I had to stop masturbating. And I was like,
Oh no.
why? And he's like, because I'm trying to examine you.
That's great.
Those are my two favorite jokes.
Oh
Those are my
my
go-tos.
God. Those are good. See,
Thank you.
I'm not good at finding the line between too far and not
Right.
far enough. And it's
Yeah,
either
I don't
one
know
or
my
the other.
audience
It's either
either.
lame dad joke or I'm about to fuck up your brain for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like,
I've told jokes at work where it's like they're very much like, I'm like, I shouldn't have said that because everybody is like, ew, like gross. Like that joke I just told you, I told at work. They're like, you're disgusting. I'm like, yeah, I am.
I know.
Did he give you one? Did he give you one?
He said, oof, hang on, he's typing something. What is the difference between a hippo and a zippy? A zippo.
A Zippo and a hippie.
What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? Sorry, he had to correct it.
What?
One is really heavy and the other is a little lighter.
Okay, so the first movie we're going to talk about. No, that was good. That was good. That was very, very,
I
very
told you
clean.
that joke. Like,
That's like
having a kid changes a lot.
Do you know how when a joke becomes a dad joke?
When a dad says it?
It becomes apparent.
Oh, fuck, that's good shit.
Right? Yeah, look at it. I know what jokes you like now. Oh, shit. All right. So the first movie we're going to talk about is... It's up there with Beetlejuice, Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, I fucking love that movie so much.
This film seems like a movie it's like a dream film. Where it's like, I'm pretty sure it's a roundabout of their first movie before they got into like Hot Fuzz and End of the World and all that. But it's like you could tell this is like the film that I would want to make, where it's like they're putting their heart and soul into every line, and they're making the shots like perfect, because every shot is good, and the humor is just like spot on. Like it's so good, where it's like it's so laissez-faire, where I feel like people that are either like, you know, what's the word? They're very melatonin to the world. That's what the characters felt like to me. So much so where they're not bugged by the zombies. Melancholy. So it's like they're not bugged by the zombies. So much so that they're going through records. It's like, no, I want to keep that record, and it's like just to chuck them at them.
Let's be real. It's probably the most real zombie movie out there, because like no one's. Listen, I've been prepping for the end of the world for a long time, and I guarantee you, when shit starts going down,
you almost had it too. You almost had it too.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be a little sloppy in the beginning, right? I'm still gonna be a little too human for surviving this world. So that's what it is. They're still emotionally attached to things. That, you know, like it takes time to turn into that like lone wolf badass that's gonna take out everything.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's the most realistic movie.
We're
creatures of habit. What are we gonna do? Let's go to the fucking pub. I don't know. Let's
think
about it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people, like, even after they discovered in that movie that there were zombies, they kept doing their routines, like, as if they were like. And then when it got more serious,
like, don't go to Walmart,
fine.
bro, because there's gonna be so many moms that keep going to Walmart for fucking months and dying. You know, because they're like, I don't know, I gotta get like more baby wipes.
More baby wipes.
No, there's too much dead people.
I'm surprised they got the rights to what was the song they used at the end? Queen. That blew my mind, because it was like at the end when they're beating him up, like, don't stop me now. And they're doing like insane because I'm having a good time. I thought that was cool. But no, overall the movie's like, it's almost like a perfect. No, I'll give it a perfect 10, because it's like it's an ideal dream movie that you'd want for them. And when you're watching it, you're like, this is good. This is exactly what they wanted to make, and they made it.
And you gotta appreciate the fact that he kept his homie, even though he's a zombie, to play video games with.
At the end, that was cute.
Dude, I would fucking totally do that.
Right?
I'd be like, it's cool.
What do you think of this painting? Yeah, it's shit. I know.
Right? I know.
So the next one, I don't know if you've seen, but I kind of wanted to get into it because I thought it was interesting. The movie's called Freaky. It's come out recently. It has Vince Vaughn and some like blonde child actress.
I believe I did see that.
They switch bodies.
Yes.
Okay, so I liked it. They did things in it where I kind of disapproved of, because it's, again, they kind of did the whole pushing the gay agenda just to push the gay agenda, as opposed to just having the characters naturally be that. Her best friends are. Her best friends. Yeah. Okay, that's the thing that unnerves me. Like, I call it the small world effect. Like, literally, it's a small world. Where they have to have her best friend, who is literally an African-American character. Then her other best friend is the gay character. It's like, they're not defined by their...
I think, like, it's just keeping it relatable.
I don't think it's that, though. I disagree.
Like, how my life went, my first best friend was African-American twins. And we were homies for years, and then we ended up going to different schools, and then my next friend was gay. My best friend was gay.
But it's just weird that all of her friends are a different ethnicity. Is my point. It's kind of like, there was this African American comedian that made a good point. He's just like, yeah, I was on TikTok or Twitter yesterday, and somebody said, like, I'm upset with the lack of diversity in Tim Burton films. And he's like, that's the
They're
last.
All dead and
he said that's the last thing black people are concerned about, is being in Tim Burton films. It's like you don't need, like, a movie's a movie.
Believe it or not, everybody. Even if you're white, even if you're the whitest white, when you're dead, you're not fucking blue and purple.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
They're claymation. They're blue and purple. Like, it's...
Right. it's just, I don't know. It's weird.
Oh my
In the
God.
90s and early 2000s, that's when it was like pure cinema, where it's like, I brought up before, if you're going to watch, if you saw Fifth Element, you saw Fifth Element. You didn't see freaking, my favorite character, what's his name? Ruby Road, Chris Tucker, like, he wasn't a token African-American person they put in the movie. He worked with the movie. Underworld, you didn't analyze movies in terms of race.
But
now
the other thing is, like, okay, Tim Burton, right? He includes different cultures in every film.
Right.
Like, it's kind of shocking to hear somebody go at him, of all people, especially of that time, because
they're pandering.
He always pushed it. Like, he's one of the good ones that helped the change.
The good one. Yeah.
Like, Why are you?
Well, that's
why
what's
are you
sad.
trying to
Everybody's
attack?
on there.
Because like it took time to fucking get to this mentality to allow
Right.
people to feel comfortable enough to be themselves. It took a long fucking battle of shit to be taken by some of us so that now it is culturally appropriate. Like
Mhm.
there was a buffer in between old fucking school and what we have now, the new school. Like give us a break, man.
Yeah.
Like
It's not going to
we
happen
took
until
the hit.
everybody's cellular data on their phones crashes. Because that's all it is. People are sitting there, and they're seeing trending. It's like, how can I trend? Oh. And they're watching, say, like, they're watching Beetlejuice, and they're like, there's no... I don't think Tim Burton includes... Ooh. It's like, that's it. That's it.
And
That's
not
all it
just
is.
that, but it's about who you can afford, too. Like...
Right. Right.
It's not like these films were getting a shit ton of money, like
And
others.
I mean, Samuel
like,
Jackson was in the, I haven't seen it, but he was in the Tim Burton film Miss Petrini's House.
oh, Miss Peregrine's School.
Yeah.
for Peculiar
I haven't
Children.
seen that yet.
I have not either. I read the book when it came out, and I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved the book, so I stalled on watching it because I was a little salty.
Well,
Because
that's the thing. I was thinking of reading the book before watching the
Do
movie
that,
because
do
it
that,
looked more
yes.
visually appealing than the actual movie. I was watching the trailer and I was like, I get it. I get like the school of like misfit type thing, but
Oh,
just
it's so
seems
much
like
more.
It's more okay.
It's so much more.
Okay, I'm excited.
It's so well written, and that was my problem because
Hold
I'm a very visual.
Right. No, you're
I'm
good.
a very
You're good.
visual person, so my
Mhm.
thoughts are in picture form. Like I can create movies in my head. So when I'm reading
Oh,
a book, that's exactly what I'm doing. Every detail, everything is there. The smell in the air, like I can do that, and I don't want that fucked up by someone else's vision.
Right.
Because Tim Burton likes all the same shit I do, and he beats me to it because he's fucking Tim Burton.
Isn't that
he
the
even has my
worst?
birthday. He even beat me to my birthday. We have
Mhm.
the same birthday.
There was a movie.
Can't have anything.
There was a movie. It's not a horror movie. I got so upset because 6 years ago, I was like, I could write this. Like, this is something I could write. I was like, what if there was a guy? It was the same idea, same premise, just done a different way. I wanted somebody to do the Back to the Future approach where he goes back in time and he takes the knowledge of music he knows from that current day and he becomes a producer for Michael Jackson, Madonna, like from the 70s to the, and he takes, like, he knows the songs already. And so he's interested, so like that. And then they came out with a movie called Yesterday, which is about a guy that gets a concussion and he wakes up and for some reason the Beatles never existed, but he remembers all the songs and he happens to be an up-and-coming musician. So he starts doing like, Hey Jude, and people are like, how'd you write that? And he's like, you don't know the Beatles? And they're like, who's the Beatles? He's like, oh shoot. So he starts making Eleanor Rigby and all this, and I got upset by that. I was like, I was gonna write something like that, but now it won't work.
Well, there's Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, true. I referenced that as I was doing it. I'm like, there's Back to the Future, and then I made this.
They did that
Yeah.
because he played the guitar, all
Okay.
and
Well,
they weren't ready for that,
you didn't need to let- you sided with the wrong side here. You're supposed to side
I'm
with
just
me.
saying
Yeah.
it's kind of been done. But that's the thing. That's what my point was earlier, which is it's impossible to not. It's impossible to have an original idea.
Right.
In every shape of art, we've been influenced, and whether we know it or not, whatever we come up with, we saw something similar. We just don't tap into it and remember.
It's like Tarantino said,
everything has
imitation is
been
the
done.
biggest form of flattery. Like he's like, all my
Yeah,
films,
I know,
I'm just
but
copying
it's-
films.
I mean, it is, but there's a point where it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, true.
But that's it. You're supposed to take things you see and be inspired.
Right.
Mix some shit up. Make your own little concoction. It doesn't have to be an exact replica. Like,
Yeah, there's no such thing as an original thought because we've all been tainted in some way by some form of.
we're
something.
programmed.
Right.
It just is what it is.
I love how we're talking about comedies and it's like we're programs. All right, so the movie. Yeah, we got way off topic. So Freaky,
Yeah.
I liked it. It was Freaky Friday, but with murderers, where he's a serial killer, and he switches bodies with this blonde-esque type girl. I don't think she's that bright. I think that's the way they portray her. Like she's just that blonde girl. So
oh no, she's not dumb.
She's just your
unpopular.
average school, like unpopular,
Yeah,
like person.
Like she had a crush on someone, but like she's kind of like not the finest. She's
Right.
got like
But
then when he takes over, he's all confident as fucking shit.
That's the
so
thing,
he
like,
dresses hot.
That's what's weird. Yeah, that's what I thought was real, like weird but cool. Where it's like Vince Vaughn is now the girl, but the girl is Vince Vaughn, and Vince Vaughn's like, I'm gonna make this work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's clearly not there, but like,
Yep.
he's coming in and he's dressed like she looks fucking sexy, but you don't want to think that
Right.
because you know she's he. But this is a movie and like it's all meta
But-
and everything. But it's like
Yeah.
he's working it. Like you're
Yeah.
like, good job.
Yeah. Like, it definitely untapped a side of her she did not have before.
Yeah.
Because even she was inspired. Just she was like, wait, am I hot? Like,
Yeah, exactly. She's like, holy
What the fuck?
crap. That was it. Her friends were like, holy crap, you look good. Like they're looking at her ass like him.
right.
The only thing I didn't like about it, I wouldn't have casted Vince Vaughn. I don't know where they were going with that. Like, I get it. He had a good presence and he had a good, like, but at the end of the day, he has that Bruce Willis effect where all you see is Bruce Willis because you don't really remember the character's name. Like, whenever you see Vince Vaughn, you just remember Vince Vaughn. You don't remember a Will Ferrell character. You don't remember an Arnold Schwarzenegger character. You just see them as them. I would have.
Well, I think he did good, though.
He did
because
great, but it was weird because the whole time I'm like,
he
that's Vince Vaughn.
Definitely, like, you got the gist that he was her. You know, like, so
Yeah.
he pulled it off.
You're
Unconventional
right. It was
choice,
kind
but
of
he
like that
pulled it
Jack
off.
Black in Jumanji, where it's like he's good at playing the female,
Yeah.
not necessarily that he's good at playing a killer, but he's there to play the.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah. Look what I make. Come on, man.
Yeah. The next one is Happy Death Day. Have you seen that?
I don't think I saw that one.
Very fun movie. So
Okay.
it's Groundhog Day. I believe we discussed it, but it's with. So this woman wakes up every morning in her dorm to. No, this woman wakes up in her dorm to her alarm. Same time, right? She goes about her entire day, and then at the end of her day, a killer with a baby face mask kills her. And that restarts her day like Groundhog Day. So she wakes up the next day,
no.
and she's like, oh, it's tomorrow, good, that was a weird dream or whatever. And he's like, hey, and the same
Yeah, I'm
things
gonna
start
get shanked
happening.
again.
Right,
Oh,
and then
shit.
she has to solve her murder to break the wheel. And it's so cool because she starts doing stuff where she knows she's going to die, right? Some days because she knows she won't be able to solve it and it's going to be painful. So she starts doing whatever the fuck she wants. She literally gets completely naked and walks across the dorm like outside everywhere. And she's like, hey, good morning, guys. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? She just doesn't care. Like she's doing shit she wouldn't
it's
do
like
before.
a hell loop, so whatever.
Right, but apparently
irrelevant.
what's cool about it is the more she gets killed, when it restarts, her outside appearance is fine, but the bodily, like, supernatural blows that she's taking is affecting her internals. So it gets to that point where she has to solve it, or this won't
Or
be her
she's
happy
gonna
birthday, it'll be
die.
her death day. So it's really well thought out. I really like it. The second one sucks. It gets really meta with the
That's
second one
always
where
the case.
other people can get, like, it's kind of like a Final Destination with death where it's like other people can be affected, so there's two people in the loop now.
I'd like to phone a friend.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I recommend it. The twist at the end of who it is, but it's a fun concept where it's like it's just Groundhog Day for horror fans.
That's funny.
Oh, before we get in the next one, which is like literally one of my top ones, I really. So we have 2 episodes left, so that's 2 weeks. Can you please watch a movie for me?
What movie?
Rise of Leslie Vernon. We talked about it last week. It's about the killer that references like other movies.
Oh my god. The green face dude thing?
Yes.
Okay.
He breaks down the horror genre.
Okay.
It has cameos out the wazoo, and if you're a horror fan, you watch this, you're going to be excited. Because you're just going to spot stuff where you're like, oh my gosh, that's from that, that's from that, that's from that. And it's like, it's really well done. That's it. That's the last film I will ever recommend to you. Until I think of another one. Just kidding. All right. The next one, this is the OG horror comedy. Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Okay.
Not the reaction I was looking for.
Been a very long time since I watched that one.
Bela Lugosi, Dracula's in it. Lon
Yeah.
Chaney's Wolfman is in it.
Yeah.
This is not the reaction I expected. Who plays Frankenstein? Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff.
Oh.
Is Frankenstein? It's oh jeez. I thought this was gonna be like you're like oh my gosh yes, you're just breaking stuff. But no, it's cool because you see all the Universal monsters together interacting with like 2 comedic legends, and it's pretty much the definition of horror comedy. And I don't know. I grew up watching Abbott and Costello, and to see Lou Costello interact with Bela Lugosi Dracula, and like have him wake up, it was like that was my Avengers, where it's like babes into like all my favorite people coming together in one little place, and they're interacting with each other, and I was like, that's really cool. But yeah, I personally love that movie. The next one, it's horror comedy. Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 3.
Oh yeah, definitely comedy.
Very fun movie.
Love it. Classic. Everyone has to experience it.
Exactly.
Even though the horrible things like the clipping where you could see the moon is like clearly like photoshopped in old school style, so there's literally like a square.
The blue tone, yep.
But it makes it like that much better. We're like, so great.
You can see it. But it's weird when the Evil Dead first came out. I remember Stephen King writing like, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. But if you rewatch it now, like if you catch like, you can see that like when the trees are basically raping her, you can see the duct tape like where it's like he used duct tape. He didn't try to hide it. He took the vine, put duct tape over it, reversed it, and you just see this like duct tape peel, and you're like, is the tree made out of duct tape? Like it's so interesting. But Evil Dead 3 is cool because they go from. Talk about a horror genre where I haven't seen this done, maybe with Child's Play, where it's like the first one is very much meant to be horror. The second one is like this weird hybrid where it's like almost psychedelic horror, where it's like with the laughing and all that, where it's like it's still unnerving, but it feels like it's pushing comedy, but it's not really comedy yet. And then the third one, they're like, let's just make a comedy horror. Flat out, where this guy that works on, what is it, Super Mart or whatever, like he works at a S-Smart. He works as
Shop Smart.
Right, he's like a grocer. And then frickin' he goes back in time, and it's literally as if you had your uncle's mentality put inside like a super fit guy, because that's the way he acts this entire film, where he's very laissez-faire about everything, where he's like, this is my boomstick, and it's like, right, it's like, it's so classic.
This is my boomstick.
Yeah. All right, you preanthro. Like he's just like, it's so the way it's written. Like it's a very very fun.
And he
movie.
references the aisles like
right.
Smart throughout the whole movie. I love it. He's such a good character. Like solid,
and
original.
It's callbacks to original like Jason and the Argonauts, like stop motion with the skeletons. And Sam Raimi's classic, like, I love Sam Raimi's zoom effect he always does with his, like, dead-eyed set, like, especially with the witch where she's this way, he's like, what do you think? Like, it's like, he knows what he's doing with the camera to creep that. I don't know. It's a fun movie. I recommend it tenfold. It's not going to be on everybody's top list. I can understand that. But it's one of those movies when you experience it, you're going to have a good time, and you're going to be quoting for, like, a month straight, because his lines are superb in that film.
There will be a point where it happens. I mean, I remember... I went to MegaCon like years ago, and we had to stop at Walgreens to pick up some shit like before we hit the con. And we went down the toy aisle, and there was a Nerf shotgun. So what happens? This is my boomstick, you know? The whole store laughs, everybody's in on it, and then you leave. Like, some epic moments over that damn movie.
The lady's like, ha ha ha, she's reaching out a desk to hit the button for the police because she doesn't know the movie.
Oh, we went in looking wild, too. We were ready for that convention.
That's awesome.
Like, so everyone was like, what the fuck? When we walked in, and we were like, yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Chase and I, when we go to conventions, we literally, like, and I don't know why. In our heads, we think it's cool, but it's just like, it's, now that I think about it, it's like, I don't know, we kind of like it, but we dress exactly the same. Like, we get matching shirts, like, we look exactly the same, so if you ever see us out and about, we're identical, just, like, walking next to each other, and people have this, like, look, and I'm just like, no, we're at a con together, so we had to get the same shirt, obviously, and this and that.
How are we going to recognize each other in the crowd?
That's
Team
true.
colors.
True. Yeah, exactly. There was a moment real quick.
I'm predictable. I'm always in red and black, so.
I never wear white. I've never worn white in my life. I've never seen the sense of wearing white. Even when I was like super fit, I never wore white. Like it wasn't an appealing color.
I had to wear white when I was a baker, and I fucking hated it. Like it actually helped determine me ending that career because I was so over not being able to wear black.
It's not a fun color.
I hate white. Like. Yeah. It doesn't look good because I'm like awkwardly pale, you know. So like my complexion is like I look dead. Like I look dead. I would say not, you look not like hot dead, but sick dead when I wear white. It's not good. Like people are like, "Are you have cancer?" And I'm like, "I don't know, maybe."
I don't know, maybe. They're like, "Okay, you're not that worried about it."
It's possible, I guess.
It's possible. Yes. Not really thinking about that right now. The one after this is Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
So, Ghostbusters to me, I don't know if you agree. This is the finger. I'm just playing with it. Is I'm not a huge fan. Like, I'm not the type where it seems like it's very much like Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Ghost, but like
It
there's
has a
fan
very
base.
niche fan club.
Right,
Yes.
like I like the idea of it, like wholeheartedly. Ghost Hunters, I love Slimer. I have a statue of Slimer.
Oh yeah,
Like I
iconic
love.
as fuck.
Right, the characters are unbelievable, but it never really. It's never one of those movies where I'm like, I'm gonna watch Ghostbusters. It's like I don't really feel too heavily about it. The jokes are amazing. Everything's
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I'm similar. I know it has a huge fan following, and a few years. This might be why. It was years ago. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago. There was a peak in interest that happened where everyone and their fucking mother was talking about Ghostbusters, and they were making shoes and shirts and
Right.
hats and beanies and da 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 da, and it was just everywhere. And that's a quick way to kill something for me. If I'm like overstimulated by something against my fucking will, like every time I check some form of social media, I don't want to fucking see that shit. Like,
Right.
so it killed it for me after a while. Like, I
Yeah.
loved it, and then it was like it got overwhelmingly annoying because it was good, and it was like everyone else was realizing it was good, and that's great, but like I didn't need to see it constantly.
Yeah. No, I get it. So we're on the same page. Because like if a guy's like, hey, oh my gosh, like we're at the con and they're like, that's Zool, and I'm like, hey, yeah, she's from Ghostbusters, and like you, like they wanted me to be more hyped up for it. It's like, oh,
Right.
that's
Like,
Zool, and I'm like, oh.
Everybody has their own flavor. Okay, it's
Right.
okay that it's not their flavor. Like, not a lot of people like fucking House of a Thousand Corpses. Most people I come across fucking hate it. They think it's trash, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
I've run into
damn.
that too, where they're like, yeah,
Like-
that's a trash movie, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I get so angry about it. I'm like, why?
and I just disagree, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm a huge fan, and I'm like, you just don't get it.
yeah,
It's
right.
fine. You just don't get it.
That backhanded comment, not like it's okay. It's like, okay, no, it's cool. A lot of people don't get stuff. Oh, hold on. Oh my.
You're so bright. Hitting buttons.
I know my garage door opened. We're good now. Speaking of horror.
That's funny.
But no, I'm the same way. What were we on? Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. Either you're a fan or you're not.
Yeah. I mean, I total respect to it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, iconic, wonderful, historical, awesome. But, like, it's not one of my major collection pieces, you know?
Right.
But I know
agree.
for a lot of other people it is.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
But the only reason I really watch is Slimer. Like, Slimer's the only thing where I'm like, hey, he's adorable.
Like, this is gonna be fucked up, probably. Might make some enemies, but my, like, favorite thing about Ghostbusters was actually them referencing it in Zombieland with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Like, that scene sticks out
And
now.
they're like, what's your biggest
whenever I
regret? And
think
he's
of
like,
it.
Garfield.
Dude.
I don't know, probably Garfield. Like, he's so laissez-faire
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I love him.
All right, next is, this one's good. This seems like one of those ones where it's like, you know, again, if an up-and-coming director wanted to make Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
I enjoyed that film a lot. I know a lot of people didn't, but
Loved
I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was hilarious.
It's so creative. Like what if it's not what you see?
Goddamn college kids keep killing themselves.
It's a suicide call. It's a suicide call.
Like, it was so stupid. It was hilarious. They did such a good job. Like,
right? We
I
found
thought
your
it was
friend.
funny.
They're like, oh my god, the
We
guy.
got your friend.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It's really.
like, it's because it's all because of bad judgment. Like, being judgmental fuckers is how everybody ended up in these situations. Like,
Mhm.
the rednecks think that, you know, they're pricks because they're all college kids, and the fancy pants, you know, probably silver spoon fed.
Right.
And then the college kids are like, scary ass hillbilly's gonna kill us.
Yeah.
If they just talked for a moment like he tried
That's the thing. If they
right
just,
off the bat.
right.
But they were like, no, and
Yeah.
killed themselves over their own fear. Like, you stupid.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
All right, bring it back to again the thing that kind of introduced me into the horror genre, but this is the sequel to it, which is more of a horror comedy. Gremlins 2.
Oh yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you feel about Gremlins 2? Because a lot of people
Um.
are meh 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 meh.
Eh, it
Okay.
has its place, like similar to like Ghostbusters. It's not one I go out of my way to watch, but
Got it.
it has its place.
I like Gremlins 2 better than Gremlins 1. I've always said that. It's the Santa Claus monologue in the first one that just throws me every time I watch it.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is
dude.
like such a
Honestly, I feel
weird
that. I hate when
scene.
they include like a holiday theme because it makes it that holiday movie. Like
Right.
it
Gremlins
is.
2
It
is
becomes a
literally
holiday
like,
movie.
it's exactly what you want. What if, Gizmo reunited with the original actors from the first one, but they're in like New York now, and we're gonna give you a plethora of different gremlins, like a scientist gremlin, a winged gremlin that for some reason thinks he's Batman and he looks like a perch. Like
Yeah.
and Christopher Lee's in it too as the main scientist. And it's like I don't know. I love Gremlins too.
Yeah.
The next one, these are two back to backs, and we'll talk to them together. The Addams Family and the Munsters. Now, correct me if I'm
Okay.
wrong, because I don't know this, but I always assume this. The Munsters is a ripoff of the Addams Family, right?
No.
No?
No. I just think they were the two sitcoms to go that weird route that survived.
Got
Like
it. Which one do you
other
prefer?
shows. Um. mm,
I love the Munsters.
I do love the Munsters,
Yeah.
but
I love the
will
idea of the Addams
say
Family.
I like. Okay, so overall, Adam's Family for me
Okay.
because, um,
Aesthetically, each character is a lot better than the Munsters. I'll say that. Like, you look at
yeah,
Morticia.
like Morticia and Gomez's relationship and their family's relationship is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with the Munsters, you've got the dad who's dumb and selfish. You got, like everyone's kind of got their thing that makes them annoying, and Herman Munster annoys the fuck out of me. I'll be honest.
He's
So
not
like,
the when he talks. I'd rather hear from Grandpa than
yes,
hear from it's the side characters that appeal to me. It's like Grandpa just I don't know feeding Dot or something. Like I'd rather not hear from this oomph because that's what he is. He's an
yes,
oomph.
yes.
He's just there
And I
to
get
be
that that's
there.
the character, but overall, I would much rather listen to Gomez and Morticia
Right.
than, and that's usually it for me. Like
I can see
growing up, it has always been the audio because I've always, sat around and drawn. If I had a
Yeah.
free hand, I was drawing. So everything was audio, and I couldn't stand listening to Herman
that.
Munster.
Hey, well, like he says, let's
Every time I was just like, shut this guy up.
Yeah.
Turn him back into a wolf. Like,
yeah. I guess you're right. I just
so
like.
I hope that Rob Zombie does something really unique with Herman.
I'm
Like,
excited. I've been looking at more
you
of the
know, like,
photos he's
make
released,
it
and I'm like,
cooler.
it's gonna be But if you want me to be 100% honest, based on what I've seen in the photos, it looks like he's gonna do the exact same.
He
like
might.
Frankenstein, where it's like,
Yeah. And I mean, it would be fitting, of course, which I
Yeah.
do appreciate all how much he's sticking to detail. Like, he's really giving the show the credit it deserved.
Yeah.
But hopefully he adds a little bit of that spice,
Yeah.
that zombie spice that makes everything fun.
Right. I know where like.
Don't
awesome.
fuck it up, man.
I want them. I don't know. I don't think it's Cassandra Peterson's gonna play her. I think she's something else. But I wanted to really pick a good actress for Marilyn. Like if anything wins this movie for me, because he already nailed the Munsters. They look great. If I were to pick somebody, have you seen? You haven't seen the new James Bond, have you?
No.
Oh, did you see that Keanu Reeves movie? The one with like the two girls and they're knocking on the door. It's a horror. Knock knock. No.
What?
It's called Knock
I didn't
Knock.
even know he did a movie.
It's about two girls. It's Eli Roth. He made it. There's this actress called Anna de Armas that I think would be perfect. And she looks like super pure and super cute. And I think that's what it should be. Like, complete polar opposite of what they are. Or not, based on your reaction.
Well, no, I
She was in that movie, if you find the link. It's called Knock Knock, I think. Keanu Reeves plays like a husband, and like his family goes on vacation, and these two women show up, and they end up like forcing him to. It's basically they rape him,
Oh,
and
wait.
they're using blackmail on him. Where it's like, if you don't do what we say, we're gonna show your wife these photos and videos and et cetera,
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's dark. It's not fun, and it's very poorly
That's not
acted. um,
Uh,
but no, Marilyn for me
He
is
has
the always
the kind
driving
of classic
factor.
look, though. She does
Right.
have that like classic
Yeah, just
facial
old school,
structure.
almost
I
Audrey
like
Hepburn
that. Yeah.
like thing about him.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, for me, when I watch the Munsters, I realize this later, but it's like Marilyn has to work for the Munsters to work in a way, because there was a thing where on your stream where you were playing like one of the newer seasons, and they replaced her with this Marilyn that looked like a bitch. Like she did not see. She wasn't even. She's not even bubbly or nice. She's just like a strict like grandma.
Totally different character.
Right, and you're like that. You don't want to see her. And then when you revisit the Monsters, like that joke they're playing on her, where it's like, well, maybe people would like you more if you weren't so ugly. It's like, yeah, she is ugly. Like you're supporting them because you don't like her, and it's just like it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to make it balanced. So that's why I always worry. Where I'm like, I hope he doesn't cast.
Ooh. Yeah. So I guess the real question is, which one is he going to be working with?
That's the thing. If he does like the strict one, which I can actually see him doing because it's him, where it's like this almost like, you know, teacher from Matilda type, like very,
oh God,
right? But she looks good. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see like I said, the thing that works for horror and all horror in general is the pairing of good and evil. Like there's always like an evil scene happening, but there's angelic music in the background where it's like, oh, like it just works. Don't I'm not going to teach him how to do it, but I'm just saying. The next one is, have you seen The Babysitter on Netflix?
I did.
Fun movie. Did you like it?
Fun movie.
I enjoyed it.
It was funny. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Like there was quite a few moments where I was laughing.
Yeah, evil babysitter babysits a kid. Kid has a kind of a crush on her.
Oh, kinda, you think? Staring at her tits.
Well, come on. He's a kid. He's a kid. He's just there. I like when they're
Kind
doing
of a crush.
what is it? The spin the bottle, and she goes up to the kid, and it's totally unexpected. The cleaver's in the head.
Yeah.
And he's like still there, and they're trying to get it out,
dope.
and they're like, "Come on, try to get it!" Like they're trying to tap out the blood for the sacrifice.
It's not working.
Yeah, it's like, oh!
Which is hilarious because again, you know, that doesn't happen. So.
It doesn't happen at all.
So. Like that was very cool Kill Bill touch.
Right. She was awesome. She's in the film, which you. I said I wouldn't recommend anymore, so I won't recommend it. I'll say it. Ready or Not.
You know,
she comes back as a bride, and people are hunting her in the house.
The family is it's like their thing. Yeah.
And then
I don't think I caught the end of that movie, but I saw.
Do you want me to tell you the end?
Sure.
The reason the family does it is they have to, because they made a deal with the devil that they give him like a soul every trimester or whatever. So that's why they're shooting. Like they're doing this, right? But at the end, the girl ends up getting away, and they all start exploding, like the people. It's real. It's all supernatural and everything. And then the devil appears, and he looks at the main person, like the grandfather they immediately made the deal with, and he literally explodes him. And then he looks over to the girl that survived, the blonde girl from The Babysitter, the lead, and he kind of just gives like a tip of the cap, and he goes back to hell. And it's like it's a really cool like moment where it's
I like it.
All right, that's
I like
cool.
it. Hell yeah.
All right, next is a film that, ironically, I thoroughly enjoy, even though I have a fear of them. But these guys I love to death. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, God.
You don't like this one.
They're so cheesy.
It's cheesy, but I love the cheesiness of it. Like I
know.
Like,
it's definitely an exaggerated humor.
Right. Anything that's done practically, I love.
Again, it's a specific flavor. But it was just a little, like, too ridiculous for me, I think. Like...
Yeah.
Especially
I mean,
because I don't like clowns anyway, so it's kind of like...
Yeah, I can't do clowns with face makeup. Those get under my skin.
The normal clowns creep me out the most.
Those
like
are the
Happy
worst.
Birthday clowns. I don't like them. But, like... So the, like, bulbous crazy heads and shit, you know, it wasn't really scary to me, you know, like... So, but it was just an uncomfortable watch for me.
Yeah, I'm just uncomfortable.
Just uncomfortable.
This other one is a lot like it, but it is pretty much meant to be a callback to the old school set. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's fun. So, I haven't seen it in maybe a decade. But the premise is there's these genetically enhanced tomatoes, and they roll over people, They find a way to kill people, and it's so funny because I guess the twist at the end is their kryptonite is a song called Puberty Love, which hits like the right notes and then they explode. But it's so funny because you see like a mother like making pasta and she's chopping up tomatoes, so you know the tomatoes are like it works, but it's very much a comedy film. But it does reference the Blob a lot. I just saw references to the Blob when I was there.
What did the mom tomato say to the baby tomato?
Ketchup. All right, so the next one on the list. I've seen Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, duh.
Zombieland, which we referenced before. It's a very fun movie. I love it. Do not like Jesse Eisenberg. I do not like him as an actor. I just don't think he's like, I don't know. I see the same character every time I see him.
Fair enough.
But the movie's good. Emma Stone kills it in it. The chick from what was the film that made her famous? Damn, I don't remember. But the little girl in it that's with Emma Stone.
I don't know what the movie is.
And then you got what's his name? He's in everything. He's in Planet of the Apes. The old dude. He's with him. Super skinny. Redneck feel.
Why can't I remember his name?
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, wait. I was like W.
Yeah, W. Dot.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it works. It's a funny movie. It's cool that like
he's my favorite character, of course.
Yeah. Right.
I love him.
It's cool that it takes place actually in our real world, and like the payoff of the film is that they visit Bill Murray. Like they're at his house. You're like, that's awesome.
I didn't care much for the second one, of course. It's always going to be my bit.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I saw the trailer and I was like, I think I just saw the entire movie watching this trailer.
I didn't like. It didn't have that iconic feel, you know. I don't know.
Well, I was turned off because in the trailer there was a girl that was playing almost like way too much into the blonde stereotype, where it's like it was over exaggerated.
That was a big thing about the second one. Very over exaggerated, like characters.
I could see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, and Woody Harrelson's character is over dramatic, but that was like his character.
Right.
Everyone else was pretty chill and shit.
God,
you just,
like too much.
Yeah, and then it was like, here's all these loud, people pay attention.
Right.
It's like, oh gosh, everybody's getting into shit.
This is our final one. I want you to try to guess what movie this is. It's John Landis.
Because I'm great with names.
Okay. It's American Werewolf in London.
Oh.
This movie to me is perfection. Like there's very rare movies I give that perfect score to, but it's funny and scary at the same time because obviously it's about a werewolf in London.
Yeah.
And the werewolf in London bites somebody who's an American, the American werewolf in London, and then he goes back, I believe, overseas, and he's hunting. That's the idea, and it's the first time you ever see the practicality effect with a wolf. The cool thing that's done about this is not only is it like obviously you can tell they're stretching skin under skin to like create this like stretching effect when he's morphing.
Right.
They're doing it in his living room in broad daylight. There's no like cheats of darkness they're using. Like you're seeing this all happen in the light, which is ingenious and super dangerous to me too, because you could run the risk of like people being like, "Oh, look at that!" Like, no, they're like, "We know what we're doing. We're gonna do it." That's fantastic. But the ingenious part about it that makes it comedy is his best friend, who I believe he murdered, comes back to him from beyond the grave. And he's like talking to him in the movie theater, and he's like saying all these things. Yeah, and he's like a little corpse. Yeah. And the cool thing is, when he first visits him, I think he's just like a skull, but like the more he visits him, the more like animated he gets. But no, I love this movie. It resonates with a lot of the Universal Wolfman.
Right.
Where it's like it's just well done. It's just very evenly paced.
Yeesh.
The final question before we end for this week. What 3 comedic actors or comedians would you want to go through a haunted house with?
Woody Harrelson. Bill Murray. And this is going to be really random, but Donovan? I don't know if you know
Oh
that
my
one.
Wait, not from Donovan, the TV show. Are you talking about him?
I think he did end up having a show.
He played Sabretooth in X-Men?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. He'd work. I didn't know he was a comedian, though.
Just stuff of reaction. Yeah.
All right. I do Lucille Ball.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. I didn't even think to go
yeah,
classic like
I'm going
that.
old
Oh!
You change it. Go ahead, think of a new one.
Vincent Price. Oh dear.
Oh dear. It looks like another. Mama, where are you going? There's ghosts here. I know, Vincent. Come on, they're gonna kill us.
Oh
They
my
won't kill
God.
us. They're friendly ghosts like Casper.
That's so great.
I do Lucille Ball. I do Dane Cook. I think
Oh,
would be funny
God.
because he's so blunt, and to have him saying stuff next to Lucille would be interesting. And then I do. Chris Tucker. That'd be phenomenal
Interesting.
for me.
Okay.
But I do like the idea of Vincent Price.
Yes.
Isn't he delightful? Okay. So that's it for this week. We got 2 episodes left. Next week we'll be doing all things Universal Monsters, which is gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. And then the
have
last,
my Universal cup.
right? I'm bringing my Dracula in here. I gotta remember to bring him in here. The last episode, and I thought about too. I think we're just gonna do like a shit show. We're just gonna do whatever. Just do whatever for like an hour, or whatever. We'll just talk about all horror, anything horror, toys, movies, whatever. We'll just make it horror.
Cool.
Right?